Hello, everybody. I have been asked before to kind of explain more about sketch journaling and, you know, what is it and how do you do it and are there any rules or, whatever. Um, Sketch journaling is a big hobby of mine, I guess. I just love to record whatever I'm doing wherever I go, if I have time. And that's the first thing. It's always more exciting to do it on the spot when you're there, but sometimes you're with other people and they're in a rush or you just for whatever reason you don't have time. So, um, that's the freedom. It's your sketchbook, so take some pictures and do it at home. You won't regret it no matter what. You'll remember it better than any other memory, or like even if you take a photo, it'll just be engraved in your memory in a different way than you've ever experienced before. So anyway, I've been doing this for a long time, and I actually I was looking through my sketchbooks and I found I didn't do it all the time my whole life, but this is super old. One of the first times I kind of did it was November 30th, 1994, when my husband, which he was not my husband at the time, but he had eye surgery. So this was him in the hospital. And so now every time I see these, I'm like, oh, I remember that. It was such a crazy experience. So that's such fond memories if you get in the habit of doing that. So sometimes you don't know what to draw, and I get in that rut all the time. But you can take the most mundane things and just turn it into something beautiful. Like yesterday, I went to a nature journaling meetup, and we couldn't find any flowers because it's kind of early in the season, and we were looking for mushrooms. We didn't find any. So, we just plopped down and I found a leaf, and it turned out really nice. And I was like, why can't I do this in my own yard? I always sit there and I'm like, oh, there's nothing to draw. Well, there's always something to draw. And you always, it's practice. Even if it doesn't turn out, it doesn't matter because it's practice and it's just good for you. So I can't stress that enough. One tip that I always tell people, always, always, always put the date on it. You'll want to know when that was. Not only will it help you remember the memory and when it was, but you can look back and see how you've improved with your skills throughout the year. I'm just going to look through a couple of these things for some examples. Oh, something else I love to do is collect anything I find on a trip or, a day out. A label. This was from a map I cut out from this hike that we did. I like to write little facts sometimes, like this is the day we climbed, the name of the place, and it was the elevation. It just makes for more interesting. Sometimes you can write, the weather or how you felt that day, like your emotions, or if there was, like, did it smell a certain way? You can't record that any other way than just writing it in there. This was from that same weekend. Anytime there's a stamp available, I always get it. This was like, we went on this brewery tour, I guess. If you collected enough stamps in this little passport, you could send it in and get a free t-shirt. So not only did I get it in my passport, but I had them stamp my sketchbook too. And then I picked some little fun things from each location, and I pasted a little picture of us in front of the Virginia Love sign. Let's see. Oh, another fun way to journal is when you go to a museum, you can draw the paintings that you see. If you think they're beautiful, the best way to learn is from copying the masters. Even if you don't think it looks good, that's just one of the hurdles you have to get over as an artist. The only way to get better is to practice, and the only way you can be confident in practicing is if you just get over it and realize that every time it's not going to be a masterpiece. And it just helps you absorb things better and get better at your craft. So anyway, this was at the National Gallery, and of course I like to write the name of the artist and the name of the painting, and then, you know, some thoughts about the day. And it's fun to put a little swatch of color behind it just to jazz it up a little bit. And of course the date. Let's see if there's anything else. Sometimes I even have a Polaroid camera that's once in a while I will take with me, take a little picture of what I drew and put it beside it. It's very, it kind of just jazzes it up a little bit. Here's another one. Okay, let's see, a couple more. Here's another example. I had some apples from a CSA that were like organic, and then this is from the grocery store, and I thought they looked so different. I just decided to sketch it. Why not? Another time I was just looking for stuff to draw, so I went out in DC, and this was one of my favorite sketches. I felt so self-conscious because there's so many people around, but this lady was feeding the birds, and it was so magical. So I stayed and I did it, and now it's one of my favorite memories that I randomly came across, and I'll never forget it now. Another fun thing you can do is like make a little cartoon of something that happened. My friend Krista posted a picture how squirrels kept terrorizing her pumpkins and chewing them up. So I did a picture of the squirrel on her head and her looking all defeated. So cute. This is one of my favorite sketchbooks I ever did on a trip to Japan and South Korea, and every place had a ticket, so there's a lot of sketches I did in this one. I hope you can see this, where I had the ticket beside wherever I went. Hold on, we gotta find a good one here, like this. Love that. Oh. Yeah, another day where I had no idea what to sketch. So I just went out in my yard and sketched the flowers. Here's another time I went to the National Gallery and sketched some of the paintings I saw, wrote some notes, and now every time I see these same paintings when I go there, I'm like, oh, I remember that time whenever I sketched them, and it was so fun. A vacation I went on once was with some friends to England, and hold on. As you can tell, I get really like, I remember that time, it was so wonderful. Because it's so much more engraved. Like all I took this time was a felt tip pen. And this was in the hotel room, a building. Wait, I got a good one. I'm so glad I sketched this. Where did it go? Oh, Stonehenge. I was so out of my comfort zone. Every time I do this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. But I stood there in the middle of everybody and sketched it. It's not that great, but it is just wonderful memory. Okay, I won't bore you much longer. But, you know, I'm just giving all these examples so you can get a feel of, like, how free it is. You can draw things that are really great, you know, experiences that you have in your life, or there can be ones that are just little tiny things from your life. And it's, either way, they turn out to be such great things to draw, practice, memories. It's just, I can't express enough. This is so old. One time we went to Eaton Park, which is a restaurant where I used to live, and I listed all the people that were there, and it says, I'm getting a hot turkey sandwich with rice instead of fries. Wah. I have no recollection of that, but it makes me laugh because I'm like practically on a diet every time I go to a restaurant. And, you know, here's one from a road trip. I was just sitting in the passenger seat, and I'll never forget that day. It was beautiful. So anyway, oh, one more thing. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I've been doing a backyard critter log, which is another fun thing that you can do, or just record plants, or just find a theme. A theme will help you get started anyway. And this is, I'm drawing all the birds and critters that I see in my backyard. So I got quite a few happening already. And I still have a lot more to go. I have a list going over here on my bulletin board. So anytime I don't have anything to draw, I always have another bird, because there are a lot of different kinds of birds, and I never paid attention until recently, but it's been so fun. Anyway, I would just like to encourage you to try it. Don't worry about if it's good or not. This is your own sketchbook. You don't even have to show anyone. It's for you, no one else. And you just, I'm telling you, you will not regret it. It's intimidating at first, but you just gotta get over that initial fear. And believe me, I'm preaching the choir here, because I have it almost every time. I'm not even kidding, every time. But just got to get started and do it. And so I encourage you to do it. Let me know if you give it a try. I would love to see some of your ideas, or if you have any other fun ideas of things that you could put in Sketch Journal, please talk to me, because it would be so fun. And make sure you like and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And share my channel with your friends if you feel so inclined. Anyway, I hope this was inspiring, and thanks for watching.